And welcome back. Well, if you're turning 65 years old this year, that you need to start thinking about a lot more than who's just going to throw you that big birthday party. Class is in session. It's Insurance 101 with Sovereign Select. Tom Qualley is back with steps to help you become more proactive about this very important year in terms of Medicare eligibility. Welcome back, Tom.
Thanks for having me on. I also have really great birthday party ideas.
Do you?
Yeah,
good.
Sure.
So people, when they meet with you, they can talk about Medicare, they can talk about birthday
party
bash.
advice. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Those are the important things that people have to do.
Keep balloons in the office at all times.
As you should. That's a good idea. A lot of people are turning 65 this month, or they're new to Medicare.
Yeah.
What do they need to know? What do they need to be doing to prepare now?
And I say this every time, right? Proactive. Be
you
proactive.
Can't say it enough.
Can't say it enough. Be proactive and get educated. You know, Sovereign Select, we're here for you for all of that, to help you be proactive and get educated. And we'll talk about that a little bit later in the segment as far as the education. But making sure that you understand that you work with an insurance agent who can help you kind of get through the steps of getting onto Medicare. A lot of people that are turning 65, a lot of times they're maybe already retired and continuing on some sort of employer group coverage that might end when they turn 65 and go on to Medicare. Maybe they're still working and they're going to lose coverage.
I was wondering how many people you see now that are still working past 65.
Oh, a ton,
right?
A ton. And most of the time, if they're working past 65, we notice that they're actually losing coverage when they're eligible for Medicare, even if they're still working.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other scenario is that maybe they are on a group insurance plan from an employer. Maybe they're still working or not working, it doesn't matter, and they're becoming eligible for Medicare. What a lot of people don't realize or don't look into is, hey, is there something better than what I have already?
Right.
And we've had customers that come in when they're 70 or 75 and they've been on their employer group plan because they thought, you know what, my employer's doing it. All those insurance agents that called me, I just told them I already have insurance, that's fine. And they come in and they say, hey, I could have done this 10 years ago. Man, I would have saved so much money.
Exactly. Well, and sometimes it's also those supplemental insurances, right? And that's something you educate people on.
Yeah, so we basically are going to educate people from point A to point, A to D we call it. So, Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D, and all the options that go along with it.
I love it. This is something new that we're talking about today, and I'm really interested in this topic for people, whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, cancer insurance.
Yeah.
A lot of people have heard about it as a buzz, but they don't really understand what it is.
It's becoming so much more common. It's really like a household thing now where people are really talking about it. It is really buzzing. It's something that we see on Facebook a lot, something we see in the news very regularly. Statistics are showing that it really is something that people need to be aware of. Obviously, cancer diagnoses are becoming much more common. Studies show that about 1 in 3 people will be diagnosed with some form of cancer within their lifetime.
My best friend was just diagnosed.
Terrible thing to hear. It's it's one of those things it's a little bit hard to talk about, but it's really easy to prepare for, and it's very inexpensive too. Cancer insurance really is, I explain it as living life insurance. Okay, now here's the fun part. So you don't have to die to collect the money. You just have to be diagnosed with cancer. Okay.
Fun. No,
isn't that great?
But the cost of it is really what I think is effective too for people.
Yeah, and it's very, very cost effective. So you can buy policies. You buy them and you buy a lump sum. So you choose how much you want to receive. So if you would say, okay, if I'm diagnosed with cancer, how much money am I going to need in addition to what my insurance is giving?
How high can it go up?
It can go up you can get from $5,000 all the way up to $100,000, and some companies even offer more than that.
Okay.
So, and you can buy it at any age.
So if you're diagnosed, then it's just a lump sum that then is paid to you?
Yeah, so if you say you chose $10,000, you're diagnosed with cancer, the insurance company pays you a check of $10,000.
Wow.
You go cash it. Now you can use that money for anything. There's no restrictions on what that money can be used for. You could go groceries, mortgage payments, car payments. You could just say, screw it, I'm going on a vacation.
Yeah, which a lot of people do. They say, hey, now is the time.
I need to go relax.
Maybe once they're done with some of their treatments.
Exactly.
Well, for example, my best friend who was just diagnosed, one of the treatments, the chemos that she is looking to have, she had reactions to the ones that were covered by insurance. The ones that work for her are not covered.
Yeah.
It's $15,000 per treatment for her, out of pocket. So this is something that could have covered her.
Yeah, so most health insurance plans are going to cover by mandate, like with Obamacare
Right.
plans and Medicare plans, they're going to cover traditional cancer treatments. Now, in the case of experimental treatments and different alternative treatments, those are not covered by insurance. So that's where cancer insurance is going to help, where, hey, we got this lump sum of money, maybe we can try some of these experimental treatments. You can pay for the experimental treatments. You might have to go to maybe Mayo Clinic to
Right.
have some of these things done. Travel expenses, gas, airfare, even flying relatives in from different areas if they can't afford it, but you really want to see them, you can do that.
This is your money.
There's so much flexibility with it. And with health insurance plans, obviously you have copays and deductibles, maximum out-of-pockets. That money can also be used to help pay for those items.
I think it's great. Someone in
Very
their 30s
flexible.
can purchase a policy as little as $2 a month. Person in their 60s, a policy as little as $12 a month. You've got these great Medicare 101 educational meetings. They're strictly educational. There's no plans discussed there. What you do need to do, though, is call to reserve a seat because you can learn more about your Medicare options. If you can't call ahead, you can just show up. There's no cost for consultations or for those Friday at 10 a.m. Medicare 101 education meetings. Here's how you contact Sovereign Select. They're 262-641-4111. You'll go and meet clients in their home or in your office or wherever is most comfortable and convenient for them and for you, near you. They'll do that as well. SovereignSelectINS.com is the website. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Good to see you.